Good evening everyone and welcome to League of Europe. We are here for Division 1 action. It is round 3 of the championship as we take in the Hanoi Street Circuit for the Vietnamese Grand Prix. Good evening everyone, I'm James here, going to be taking you through the action as always, and I'm only by myself here tonight, so my co-commentator that was due to be alongside me, V8 Field, he is doing Division 4 tonight, but you will see him on that stream and indeed next week here for Division 1 going forward. And I cannot wait to commentate around here at Vietnam. It's my fourth commentary around here in a matter of weeks, so hopefully we're going to see some good racing here tonight. And we do have a tie all out in front between Montana and Alphatrix, which is going to be very intriguing indeed. We're going to see, hopefully, the Swiss man and the Brit really fight it out on track tonight. But Montana and Alphatrix, as I say, on 43 points. They currently lead the way in the championship, tied for the lead. Toxic is a further 21 points behind. He's on 22 points in third. Kvyat Verstappen is in fourth on 18, with Neo in fifth on 17. Dropye and Josh, who are not attending here tonight, they're in sixth and seventh respectively on 15 points each. Cohen as well not attending, he's on 10 points in 8th. We've got Killer Blue in 9th on 8, Spine in 10th on 8, he is not attending either. Kooky Games in 11th on 6, Larkin in 12th on 5, Rocco in 13th along with Gary, he's on 2 points, Rocco on 3, they're 13th and 14th. Luigi in 15th on 2 points as well, with Baki in 16th on 1. Everyone else, Kvyat Campbell, Kvyat Daka, and Suku, not yet to score any points, and of course, few of the reserves. Matty, Andy, Daniel, interestingly as well, haven't scored any points as full-time drivers this season. Bullet Boy, just Asas and Decky not attending, but we do have one returning face and one brand new driver here to League of Europe. So let me introduce you guys to them. You can see there is the German FRL Schiaparelli, and a great name change I've got to say, but he is still known as Schiaparelli, and hopefully we're going to see a good performance from the German. He is taking the place in the Alfa Romeo of Spine tonight, so it is going to be a Swiss and German pairing tonight in the Alfa Romeo. And there is our other new driver as well as a reserve, VR46 Bolin. He is taking the seat in the McLaren of Dropye. He was not attending here tonight, and I think only McLaren are going to be down to one driver, which is not going to be too bad at all. Hopefully we're going to be seeing though the action begin out on track. The Constructors as well, the top 7, which I haven't screenshotted the last 3 Constructors, so I'm going to have to do the top 7, I'm afraid. Williams and Alfa Romeo are tied for 51 points in first and second. AlphaTauri is in third on 40, Nenema in fourth on 25, with Renault in fifth on 17. Red Bull Racing in 6th on 8 and Racing Point in 7th on 7. If you're in the Discord, go and check on the standings. You can confirm for me the final 3 Constructors. I knew there was something that I missed coming into tonight, and I've just realised it live on stream, which is not great. Alphatrix is here, he's just joined the lobby. We should be getting underway very shortly indeed. And of course, it is the Vietnamese Grand Prix, and we'll take a preview of the track in just a second. But I'm going to risk my internet, and I'm going to have a look at you guys, you lovely guys, in the comment section and see how you guys are doing on this fine Saturday evening. It's a bit chilly here in the northeast of England where I'm commentating from, but hopefully we're going to be seeing some good action out on track tonight. Division 4 and Division 3 is also live, so if you want to whet your appetite even further and have a triple screen stream going on, you can, but Division 1 is where the action is all going to be here tonight. Good evening to Montana, good evening to Jav, and good evening to V8 Field as well. He's just came into the comment section saying, "Sad I can't commentate with you this week, James, but it'll be great to start next week, and it will be very good to introduce Daniel to you, all you guys here tonight." And speaking of a Daniel, I have just received word as well from the TTML organisers in 2 weeks' time that a certain Kvyat Daka is going to be alongside me in the commentary box for Division 5 of TTML. So if you want to tune in for that and see League of Europe's greatest commentary pairing of all time, commentate on TTML, you can. There's a little bit of self-promotion there for us both. But In the short term, we are now here at Vietnam for the Hanoi Street Circuit. There are 23 turns awaiting these drivers out on track tonight with a 5.6 kilometre length in distance per lap. Race distance just shy of 157 kilometres, but we do have 28 laps, as I say, waiting the drivers out on track tonight. The weather is dynamic, so expect the unexpected. Like I did a Monaco last night for Division 5, where we had a wet qualifying and half a wet race as well. But I'm glad to say it is all dry for qualifying so far, and the first drivers will come out on track very shortly indeed. Let me know in the comment section who you're supporting here tonight. I'm going to make a quick top 3 prediction and say that Alphatrix is going to be on pole tonight. Montana will be second, and I'm going to preempt that he's coming out the pit lane, as he always does, in first position. And it looks like there's a Williams coming out right in front of him. A bit of PG-18 there. So if you are under 18, look away now as Montana comes out the pit lane. And actually, it was Alphatrix that came inside of him. So, yeah, not really that great at all to start off the stream with a little bit of PG-18 there. But Montana is out the pit lane first. Alphatrix is out the pit lane second. So that's going to be really intriguing to find out. Montana is, of course, our Division 2 champion, Season 2 Division 1 champion, I should say. Alphatrix, our current defending champion, of course, coming into tonight. They're both level pegging in the championship, in the Drivers' Championship, on 43 points each. Each of them has had one win each. Montana took the win in Australia, and in Bahrain last time out, of course, it was Alphatrix. And it should be quite a close qualifying, I think, here once again tonight. Alphatrix for pole, though. Montana second, and I think Neo might go third here for pole position. Next week, by the way, I am going to introduce a new feature. A couple of minutes before we start the stream, I will introduce a new feature. We are going to be having one driver interview a week for the start of the stream. So myself and Daniel from next week will get to interview one of the drivers, chosen at random as always, out on track. And I think it's a good way to let you guys know who they are and let you guys know, more importantly, what their expectations are going into the race. So hopefully we can get an interview. If anybody does want to have an interview next week, do let me know in either Discord or in the YouTube comment section. Montana, though, is about to start off a lap. So here we go with the Swiss man, the season champion here in Division 1, running down towards turn 1, braking just off the 100 metre board, got to turn in very nicely. Turn 2, probably one of the trickiest turns ever, I think, on any track, and Montana, to be honest, made that look pretty easy, to be honest. Now coming through turns 3 and 4, there are track limitations in the Discord as well for what happened, or for track extension. Montana coming through the first sector, 25.1. We should be seeing sub-25s through there as they approach the end of their lap. You can corner cut through turn 6 and 7, and now through the roundabout through 8 and 9, and onto this long 1.5 kilometre straight pretty much makes up the whole of the track, to be honest. Montana now running down the straight as he comes past our camera position. As he now runs down. It is a straight, technically a straight, there are no real turns, but that is through turn 10, now coming up towards braking point at turn 11, and then the final sector is where the drivers will be really tested here tonight in all divisions. Montana making that look pretty easy down through the braking zone of turns 11 and 12, now towards 13 and towards the end of the middle sector. It's a 105 flat through the middle sector. Expect lap time done around the 132s, I think, for pole position here in Vietnam. Might even see a sneaky 131 possibly, but Montana coming through the final couple of corners, looking very nice through there. Now through turn 21, just cutting slightly, but now through turns 22 and 23. Double left-hander to end us off here, and that is a lap of the Hanoi Street Circuit. Montana about to come across the line. Oh, it's a 132.5 already. Let's see what Alphatrix is doing just in behind out on track, and he goes quicker by 600ths of a second. So Alphatrix goes quicker than Montana. Toxa coming in now in third position as well. Toxa currently third in the standings. So top 3 in the standings, and the drivers' standings. Top 3 currently in qualifying. Gary to the line goes third, however, with a 132.9. And the Irishman dumbing down his chances in the Discord earlier. Was chatting to him before this race. The Irishman doing a good job there, though, in third. Let's see who else is on a lap. Well, Ouija coming through the middle sector, and now actually through the final sector. This is the Herman Tilke design track, so expect the unexpected, to be honest. We see Rocco go 5th, Verstappen 6th, Backy 7th, VR46. Bolin, however, goes 4th. I mean, you debutant. We're on board with Waluigi, though, coming around the final corner. It's going to be well up there, I think, with the lap times. Trying to take that flat out. You can't really take the final corner flat out, but he goes 13th with a 133.8. Neil through the middle sector. About 3/10 off in terms of Montana's middle sector, but not looking too bad as he now flies through the S section. Really on the power there in a very high 5th gear to try and maintain control through turn 20, now through turn 21. And the Renault man and the German really trying to put it on the line here tonight. Kuka Games is also on a lap, and I think he's in the middle sector, possibly getting backy a little bit of slipstream there as well. Neil across the line, he goes 5th. The 133.2, so nice lap there by him. We'll go on board with Kuka Games, who's the only one not to improve or not to set a lap at this stage, bar Schiaparelli, who's in the pit lane, and he should be coming out of the pit lane very soon, you would imagine. Kuka Games 106.2, not the greatest middle sector, and you can see he's got right side end plate damage actually, so he might just completely and utterly bottle this, go into the pit lane and repair that front wing damage. It will cost him a little bit of time in the pit lane. Let's see what he does. And no, he's going to go for the lap, so Kuka Games now coming around the final couple of corners. The Slovenian, of course, I think he might have hit the wall, possibly coming out of turn 12, possibly, I'm not sure, but Kuka Games across the line, 34.5, he's much quicker than that. Schiaparelli is on that lap as well, but with 6 minutes gone in qualifying, Alpha Trix is out on top, Montana second, same old here in Division 1 so far. Gary as well in third with a 132.9, Vios 46 ball in, he's just coming into the pit lane there. The Dutchman in 4th, very nice lap time from him, and he's 700s actually ahead of Neo, who is down on a lap currently, but Neo is one of the only drivers out on track, and Schiaparelli, by the way, I think, might have picked up a little bit more front wing damage because he's back into the pit lane once again. Schiaparelli hopefully will be coming out of the pit lane. Montana, I think, just has, no, it was actually Schiaparelli who was back out in the pit lane. A little bit of a glitch there, I think, on my end, but Alpha Trix out on top, Montana second, Gary in third. First round of laps done in qualifying for the drivers. Schiaparelli now coming through turn 6 and 7. You really get to see the camber of the corners that these guys have to try and negotiate around out on track. Just a pinpoint as well, we have got from VR46 Bolin down to Killer Blue 8/10 of a second, separating 4th to 16th out on track. And there's 4 drivers within a 133.5 as well. That's Rocco, Verstappen, Baki and Daka. Those guys, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th so far in qualifying. Schiaparelli, good to see the German back. He produced that great triple overtake, if you remember, last season in Japan. And that was one of his final races, I think, last season in Division 1. He is back for another crack of the cherry here in Division 4. In Season 4 of Division 1, I should say, this season. But Schiaparelli will be hoping to try and lay it on the line here in qualifying. Might be an outside chance for top 5 in qualifying, perhaps. I know he was saying in Discord earlier that I'd be hoping it's a wet race, because he likes the wet rather than the dry. Which I think has to be said. I don't think we're going to get any wet conditions. But Schiaparelli better start us off on a lap. Once again, we'll go on board with the Alfa Romeo for the duration of this lap. Leading to everyone that has tuned in. Schiaparelli on a lap down towards turn 1. Working very nicely indeed. Now coming through turn 2. Catches the curve on the inside. He's got Verstappen just coming out to the left-hand side of him, who gets out of the way. And there he is in behind. Schiaparelli now through turns 3 and 4. Beautifully done. Now on towards turn 5. And 6, this is going to be down towards turn 6, 7 and 8, which is the 3 corners around the roundabout. 25.3, not a great first sector from Schiaparelli. I'll be hoping to try and make this up through the roundabout section, through turn 8, and now onto the straight. So this is where Schiaparelli can now let the hammer down out on track. We see him come past our camera position. You can see the ERS deployment on the right hand side. He is using the hot lap mode here within qualifying, and that's what all drivers have to do, of course, because there's no overtake mode in qualifying. Schiaparelli now down into the braking zone of turns 11 and 12. Really attacking the braking zone there. Very nice on the exit as well. Bit gingerly, I should say. Schiaparelli, 105.8 through the middle sector. It's not lightning quick. It is going to be a nice lap time nonetheless. Expect him to go around the Daniel Daka sort of area, I'm thinking, 12th, 13th. Schiaparelli now coming around the final corners. He hasn't got any traffic in front of him. We've got on board as well with Alpha Trix, who was on a lap, and he's approaching, I think, the braking zone into turn 11. Schiaparelli now has run out of ERS, but he is now coming around the final 2 corners. Let's see what Schiaparelli can do. Comes across the line, and he goes 13th, exactly where I predicted, which is fantastic. So Schiaparelli goes 13th. Let's run on board then with Alpha Trix. He has invalidated, but was improving by 3/10 of a second until that point where he invalidated through there. We've got Montana on a lap. Gary's just started on one. Toxic has invalidated as well. Let's run on board with Campbell. Mercedes man, Scotsman yet to score any points so far this season. Of course, last season's winner in Monaco, where we are not going to, as far as I'm aware, this season, if I'm not mistaken. And now Campbell running down the straight. Of course, if you are aware of Campbell's background, he is now the head of GT Sport within League of Europe as well. He has got a little bit of traffic in front of him. That's a Red Bull, I think, of Cookie Games possibly on that lap. But Campbell, I should say, now coming around the middle sector. Middle sector's not looking too bad here. 105.4. He's 2 tenths up. That is Cookie Games in front of him and gets out of the way, which is good to see. Good sportsmanship shown there by the Slovenian. Let's see him fly through the camera shot. Through to 18. Oh, clips the wall on the right-hand side. Now through turn 20 and invalidates, and that is Campbell straight into the pit lane. He knew that it was not a great lap there at all. Rocco, by the way, has gone third with 132.8. Daka fourth. Gary now down to fifth. Killablu now in sixth. Montana, though, is on a lap and he's a 10th up, coming through the middle sector. Oh, really squibbly coming out into the S section through 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now through turn 19, now through turn 20. Count them up as they go along because they come at you like Mike Tyson punching 12 rounds with Muhammad Ali. Montana now coming around the final corner. I know I forgot the other boxer's name that Tyson's going to be fighting, but still, Montana around the final corner. Does he go on top? No! No improvement. It looked a little bit of a scrappy ending to that lap there, to be honest, for Montana, and he doesn't improve. 32.5 out on track. Trying to board with D. Daniel, who's coming through the middle sector, or actually the final sector now. The Ferrari now coming through turn 20, now through turn 21. 2.5 tenths up in this final sector. Now he comes around the final couple of corners. Rocco third, best of the rest so far, as now D. Daniel comes around the final corner. Where's he going to go? He goes 10th. Nice lap there by the Dutchman, 133.2. Neo is down on lap. Suku, though, his teammate, goes in behind him. And there is a racing point coming up towards the final couple of corners, which I do believe might be Larkin. He's 600th up through this middle sector. And Larkin now around the final corner. Not sure if he's got left side end plate damage there. He hasn't. Larkin around the final corner. And not improving, obviously a disastrous final sector there from Larkin. He stays in 17th position. Cookie Games now through turn 22, locking up, but he is improving by 8 tenths per second as he now comes through the final corner. Let's see what the Slovenian can do. He goes 13th, 133.3. And you've got to preempt this time. Toxic, I don't think has been out on the lap. He might have invalidated actually on his last lap, but Toxic is one of those guys who can really put in a good qualifying position. And let's see what the Brit can do. No pressure, Toxic, if you're going to watch this back later on. Around the final corner he comes, and the AlphaTauri now sets us on a lap. Let's see, on the run down towards turn 1, it's a very short run actually down towards turn 1. It's one of the shortest turn 1s that you might have in the calendar. I think it's something like 400 metres, and I don't think Toxic wants to watch that back later on because he's just invalidated through turn 2, and really squirrely out of turn 4 as well. But he has invalidated on that lap. Larkin 7 tenths down. Haven't got anybody on a lap, I don't think. We have got Alphatrix, however, who I think is on a lap now. Let's see what the Brit can do coming in towards the middle sector. Middle sector braking point coming up very shortly indeed through turn 11. Alphatrix on a lap. Heavy into the braking zone now into turn 11. Now through turn 12. Really powers out the corner. Can the Brit go quicker than Montana and assert his dominance at the top of Division 1? He's 3 tenths up through this middle sector. Nearly invalidates coming through turn 13. Now through 14 and 15. There is a yellow flag ahead. I think that's Cookie Games still out on a down lap. He might have run out of fuel. He's got to get out of the way here. He does. Alphatrix on an absolute flyer of a lap though. We could see a 132.2 perhaps. Alphatrix now around the final 2 corners. Really attacking it too much. Hits the wall through turn 22. He's run out of ERS, but Alphatrix round the final corner. He goes quick as it's a 132.1. Wow, what a lap by Alphatrix. Fantastic lap from the Brit. And that might take a hell of a lot of beating with 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go. So Alphatrix sets a quicker lap time there for Montana in second. Runnable with Chapelelli. He has invalidated through sector 1. I have a feeling he's probably just invalidated that as we come on board. But Alphatrix, my goodness me. 132.1, a class above the rest in Division 1 so far. We've got Baki currently on an outlap. So he'll be one of the next to come across the line. Chapelletti, I don't think, is on a lap, if I'm not mistaken. Just cut to him now. Yeah, he's invalidated, so we'll cut back on board then with Baki. 3 minutes to go here in qualifying. Alphatrix just leading for Montana second and Rocco in third. And Alphatrix, I think, is going to be one of those guys that might take a lot of beating here tonight. My top two, Alphatrix Montana is on, but my third position was Neo. He's down there in 12th position, currently out on track. Just going to tune in as well to Waluigi, see what he is doing. He's about to come out on track. So Waluigi about to come out on track now in the Racing Point garage. And FIFA 12 commenting there, GOAT. Absolute GOAT there, yeah. Larkin saying I'm only 1.7 seconds off the pace. Yeah. Gary getting a nosebleed. Yeah, he's fifth, but I tell you what, it's a very good lap that we rode on board with from Gary. He is on an out lap, but Baki now is coming around the final corner. Alphatrix, I think, might not have enough time to get another lap in. Don't think he would get another lap in, to be honest, but Baki is on a lap. He comes around the final corner. Let's see what the pole can do. We'll focus on the main protagonists as well here in qualifying, the likes of Montana, Rocco, Dakar. Baki now down in towards turn 1. Very nice, very nicely controlled through turn 2 as well. Now through turn 3, you can hear the camber of the corner really kicking out and a little bit of oversteer as he gets caught wide. Now Baki through turns 4 and 5. Now on the run down towards turns 6 and 7. Again, very hard on the braking zone here in Vietnam towards the end of sector 1. And Baki is 2/10 down through the first sector. He will continue on with this lap, 33 flat. It is a high mark for him to try and get an improvement, but he has got his teammate just in front of him, going to give him a little bit of a tow. So Kuki and Baki working together here. It's like Doom and Cantera from the last 2 seasons of Division 1. Baki now on a lap, and Kuki Games eventually will get out of the way towards the end here of the straight. But this is good to try and make up that 2/10 of a second. Baki now down into the braking zone. He's outjudged that completely. And not a great braking done there from Baki. We've got Gary on a lap, Killer Blue on a lap as well. We'll focus on them next. But Baki now coming round, 400ths up, so that really brought back the time for him. But this final sector has got to be pinpoint accurate if he wants to try and improve this time into the 32s. It is currently not looking that great. He clips the wall through turn 19. Now through turn 20, Halo Cam really doing justice here. So now comes through in the exit of turn 22 and towards turn 23. And Baki now around the final corner. We'll go on board with him through the final corner. Really attacking a little bit too much. Across the line. He goes 6th. He does improve by 900ths of a second. So doubled, theoretically, his time. Killer Blue was on a lap, 7,000 up through the first sector. Here's the middle sector, 800ths up now. Is Gary ahead of him out on track? I think he is. Gary is ahead of him out on track, and he's 1,700ths down. Currently now coming around the final couple of corners. We've got Montana on the lap as well. Alphatrix is back out there. Gary now around the final corner. Let's see what he's going to say. He improves. Goes 4th ahead of Dakar. Nice lap there from him. Killer Blue around the final 2 corners now. He 800ths up, as I say, in the middle sector. Can the Williams man improve? Around the final corner comes the break. Killer Blue goes 3rd, 132.7, nearly 2/10 off Montana. Montana is coming through the end of the middle sector here as well. We will see more improvements toward the line. Alphatrix has came into the pits. He is done for qualifying, so everyone else there out on track now to lay it down. I think Dakar might be on a lap coming through the final sector as well. And we have got Montana ahead of him out on track. So Montana a 10th up. He's not going to go quickest. Neo goes 3rd. That's good for my prediction. Nobody else improved, please. Montana now coming around the final 2 corners. Montana, he is going to improve, but I don't think he's going to be as quick as Alphatrix unless he puts in a lightning final sector. Montana across the line. Not enough. It's a 32.4. Let's see what Dakar is doing. Around the final corner, he's going to improve massively. Goes 3rd. The Renault defeats his teammates and defeats my prediction. The Scotsman is not going to be very happy with me later on. Bolin on a lap as well. We've got Verstappen coming around the final couple of corners as well. Larkin is retired out on track. But now Verstappen coming around the final couple of corners. Let's see what the Dutchman can do. Division 2 commentator, 33 flat. From Verstappen, he goes 9th. Bolin is a 10th up. He is going to improve possibly ahead of Verstappen. Could even go ahead of Campbell and Gary possibly. But now around the final corner, can Bolin improve across the line? He goes 9th. So he did improve ahead of Verstappen, but not enough to get Gary and Campbell. But that, I think, is qualifying over and done with. Chapelletti is invalidated coming through the final sector. And he's corner cutting for glory here. He has lost his left side end plate damage as well. A little bit of drifting through turn 22. It is being caught on the stream as well. Chapelletti now around the final corner. Clips his right tail end plate. I don't think he cares about that. Across the line, 17th position, no better for him. But it is Alphatrix on top, Montana second, and I wish I had a mystery ball, because Dakar outqualifies Neo by 300ths of a second to take third position out on track. Just waiting on Killer Blue to retire from the session. That is him just coming into the pit lane there. But Alphatrix out on top, Montana second, Dakar third. Very interesting qualifying session, I think, that. And 1.7 seconds separating the whole field. But in turn, it's only a second separating the top 13, which is not too bad around here at Vietnam. Obviously, you can count Alphatrix and Montana's dominance. But the likes of Rocco, the likes of Killer Blue qualifying close together, 200 separating. I think the two Mercedes as well qualified 200 separating, while Luigi coming across the line there in 16th. But let's renew down the full grid order out in qualifying, and it was Alphatrix who took it by nearly 2.5 tenths of a second from Montana. Dakar in third. Oh, how I'm going to get him later on. Neo in fourth with Rocco in fifth. Killer Blue in sixth with Gary in seventh. Possibly his best qualifying position of the season so far. Campbell in eighth with Bolin in ninth. Verstappen rounding off the top 10. Baki in 11th, Toxic in 12th. That's what I mean. 33 flats there for 10th to 12th. Suiko in 13th, Daniel in 14th, Kuka Games in 15th, with Luigi 16th, Schiaparelli in 17th, never had the rub of the green with invalidations on his lap, and Larkin a little bit off the pace, 1.6 seconds separating. It's not 1.7, it's 1.669, but Larkin there down in 18th position. Now we are going to go into the race. 28 laps await the drivers. Expect an average lap time around here of 135s, 136s. So we should see about 50 minutes worth of action roughly out on track. Give it a couple of minutes less or after. Yeah. But let's tune into the comment section. See how you guys are doing on this fantastic Saturday night. Of course, if you do want to delve into more action tonight, Division 3 and Division 4 are currently live. And Hardy out on top, he's second, Jekyll third for Division 3. Aiden and Dylan taking you through that one. And in Division 4, it's V8 Field taking you through that one. And it is currently Fuzel in second. Fuzel taking it, JD Nolan second, and Jerome in third. However, I think Jerome and Philippe actually has just come fourth in that. So I'm doing the rounds a little bit with these divisions, but tuning in, Alpha Neo Montana top 3 for Jav. Anyone betting on how many positions I will lose off the grid says Montana. Interesting. Let's hope there are no lobby issues. Yeah, I think everyone just taking their time, to be honest, to ready up. So there is no issues, I don't think, with the lobby. It is just purely, you can see the start time there at the top hand side of your screen. And we should see the pit strategies come up at the beginning of this formation lap. Let's hope we do have a formation lap. And yeah, straight onto the grid. And the formation lap now about to begin with Alphatrix out on top. And we see the guys get away out on track. Let's see further down the field though, looking at the tyre strategies. Interesting mix there actually. Suku on a set of soft compound tyres. He'll be hoping to go around lap 7, lap 8, providing there's no safety cars, and then try and get a two-stop strategy to the end, probably mediums to softs. Plenty on the mediums as well. Baki, Toxic, Kuka Games, Waluigi and Larkin all on a set of mediums. So expect them to go around the halfway stage, then swap on to a set of hard compound tyres for a possible 1-stop. 2-stop, I think, are the quickest strategies around here, though, as was proven in TTML. When we came around here, when I commentated around here in Division 1, it was certainly the quickest strategies for the Division 1 guys then. See if a 2-stop works out on track. And on a set of hards, Daniel and Schiaparelli out on track for a set of hard compound tyres. Let's see, though, how these guys get on out on track. We are halfway through the formation lap. And if you are just tuning in, we should expect about 50 minutes worth of action, as I say. I'm going to have to literally hop-footed after this one, straight to CRC once again for the final 2 rounds of the championship there for LMP3. And you can tune into that, of course, on League Racing TV if you do follow that channel. But should say the pit stop strategies come up, or certainly the stop strategies come up for each of the guys. We'll run above with Alphatrix as he now comes through this final sector. Very technical final sector. It's like Circle of the Americas and Silverstone duplicated, to be honest. Maggots and Beckett and the S section coming through Circle of the Americas. Herman Tilke does like his S sections, honestly, out on track. My top 3, though, what I'm going to go for is Alphatrix for the win. I'm going to go Montana second, and Let's go for a little bit of a wild one, actually. Let's go Bolin for third. I think Bolin might show better race pace than qualifying pace. Very interesting to see how the Dutchman gets on in his first race here in League of Europe. The cars now begin to formate on the grid. You can see them now coming around the final two corners. There's the Red Bull, AlphaTauri, Ferraris now coming through camera shots. We're just waiting on Kuki, Waluigi, Schiaparelli and Larkin now to come round. And there are the final two cars about to join the grid out on track. Straight run down, about 400 metres long, down towards turn 1. Not as long as in Spain, but we are about to get underway for 5 red lights very shortly indeed. And the light sequence is now on. Round 3 of the championship here in League of Europe about to begin. Long hold on the lights, but it's lights out and away we go. Dakar gets a very good start, so does Montana, and there is the glitch to the left-hand side. But AlphaTrix leads down towards turn 1, Montana second, and it looks like Neo is going down the inside of his teammate. A little bit of Goldstein in, but Neo ran the outside through turn 2. Can he get it done on Dakar? I think he can. German holds it, round the outside for P3, not P5 as you see out on track. Very good start from everyone. Backy's dropped down a couple of positions early on. There's Kuki Games and Larkin fighting through the field, but AlphaTrix has gone away by 5/10 of a second from Montana in second. The front two have actually left them for dead. Coming through the first sector, Campbell and Gary, the two Mercedes, are going side by side. I think that might be Bolling going 3 wide into turn 6. Goodness me, if he tries to pull that one off, it's a brilliant move. He's down the inside of Gary. Can he get the move done, the Dutchman? Through turn 8 and now onto the straight. This is where it will really hurt most, and Bolling gets the move done. Brilliant stuff by the Dutchman. Might be new, but he showed great racecraft and great character there to get the move done. Here comes Verstappen now around the outside of Gary. Gary dropping down the field as if he's just had a pint of Guinness. Verstappen running down towards turn number 11. Toxic very late on the brakes in the background. A little bit of a lag spike there, possibly from Verstappen. There's a predicted pit stop strategy which eventually comes up. Verstappen though on the back of Bolin, but no way through for the Dutchman on his fellow countryman. But it's AlphaTrix who leads towards the end of lap 1. Montana second, Neo in third. The front two really pulled away. 1.1 seconds already separating these guys out on track. But AlphaTrix and Montana going with each other and leaving the rest behind as we approach the end of lap 1. Montana might have just clipped the wall there. 7/10 of a second now separating as AlphaTrix leads. Killer Blue round past Rocco. Rocco, I think, and Campbell have possibly had a little bit of a desync going on there. They are ahead of Bolin and Killer Blue, and we still do have that desync on the left-hand side. Just notice it. Lap 2 out of 28. Not lap 3, but a very good start from everyone out on track. There is AlphaTrix. There is actually a McLaren of VR46 Bolin, who is right on the back. Who's getting under pressure now from Verstappen. But now we see that fix itself, and AlphaTrix is now back out in the lead of the race. While Luigi is through on Schiaparelli. Schiaparelli, I think, has hit the wall coming out of turn 5, but he has recovered it. So the Modic just went side by side and had a little bit of contact there. Down the long straight. Beautiful camera angle that. AlphaTrix leads by probably around 5/10 of a second as opposed to the 7/10 you're seeing on your screen. Everyone getting blue flags, ignore that. Just ignore that. Codemaster's still yet to fix that game. He'll run through the field, see if anybody is quite close for a move. Verstappen, here he goes down the inside of Bolin. Can he get the move done down the inside? Bolin around the outside, Verstappen on the inside line. Bolin holds the line. Oh, and Verstappen very close to hitting the wall. How on earth he didn't pick up the end plate damage there is beyond me. Here comes Toxic. Inside on a fresh set of mediums, fresh set of softs, 2 wide into the S section, does not really go, and Gary will have to take the position, and he does. Gary is through, and he's up into P10, Tux now down into P11. Anybody trying to go side by side through the S section is pretty much committing a crime out on track. Suku in behind as well on Toxic, 3/10 away. But it's AlphaTrix who leads at the end of lap 3. Montana, the gap is out for a second. Neo in third. We run on board with the mid-pack battle though between Suku and Toxic. A little bit of a sideways movement there from Larkin coming out the final corner. Let's ride on board though with Killer Blue in his pursuit for 5th position on the back of Rocco. Killer Blue's had a good start. Let's have a look at position changes as well out on track. Larkin has gained the most position. Schiaparelli into the bits early, and that is for a set of possible hard compound of tyres. No, he's onto a set of mediums, so he will go 2-stop to the end. Here comes Toxic as well on the back of Gary once again. AlphaTauri against the Mercedes. And the Mercedes hangs on to position. Toxic feeling confident, I think, on that set of mediums. We'll be hoping to try and get the move done. But AlphaTrix leading the way, and pretty much the gaps out in front don't really respect a lot of overtaking. So we'll keep on board with these guys for now. Toxic and Gary going to go side by side. We're on board with Suku though, as we try and see a double overtake happening. Toxic now getting easily past Gary. You can see him now, cuts the inside line, comes across on track slightly, but Toxic defending the position. Suku's very late on the brakes, having a half commitment now on the brakes. But Toxic through and he's up to P10. Beautiful on-board shot there with Suku as he tried to get the move done on Gary. But Gary holding sway for 11th position. Back on board with the position changes. 4 positions gained for Larkin. He's the most positions gained so far. The most positions lost, Baki, who has lost 4 positions, and Gary, who has also lost 4 positions out on track. Schiaparelli, the only one yet to come into the pits. And the current fastest lap has been set by Alphatrix out in front with a 1:37.2. And Montana actually responds to that, 1:37.1 from the Alfa Romeo man. Verstappen on the back of Bolin. This is for 8th and 9th. And quite an evenly spaced out grid, to be honest. Nobody really looking for any overtaking manoeuvres. It is quite grey here in Vietnam. On lap 4 out of 28, so pretty much a fifth of the way through the race so far. There's Alphatrix who leads. If you are tuning in and expecting V8 Field to be alongside me in the commentary box, go and tune into Division 4. He is there commentating you through that one. And now Verstappen in his pursuit on the back of Bolin. Not going to get the move done. The 2 Dutchmen. Bolin really impressing so far, I've got to say, in his first race here in League of Europe. As he now comes around turn 8 and 9. And now on the run towards the kink at turn 10. Bolin now on the back. Not sure if I'm seeing little rain spots there, if it's those little dandelions that come up passing the driver's camera eye. But here comes Verstappen on the back of Bolin. This could be a move done actually down in towards turn 11. And Verstappen just backs off. He does not want to go for that one. Suku does though when he's down the inside of Gary. Can he get the move done? Pull against the Irishman. And the pull knocks them off track. Side by side into there is quite tricky. But Gary, I would say, fair play to Suku, getting the move done, and he's through and he's up into 11th position. Kuki Games as well on the back. Gary dropping like a stone, currently out on track. And now come through. Killer Blue chasing down Rocco as well. This was a battle we rode on board with on lap 2, but it is getting closer. Daka looks like he's beginning to come back to these guys as well. And a possible 4-car battle for 4th now beginning to develop with Daka, Rocco, Killer Blue and Campbell. Campbell looking quicker, of course, because these guys, or Campbell certainly, as we ride on board with them, is not running in much dirty air as compared to the guys ahead. They'll be picking up the car's dirty air. Campbell is running in a little bit of a buffer to the guy ahead, very close to the wall there, coming out of turn number 4. Now Campbell on the run down towards turn 6 out on track. Now hay fever is kicking up once again. Campbell though on the back of Killer Blue. We're on lap 5 here. Suku on the back of Toxic. And Toxic running on a fresh set of softs. On a fresh set of mediums. Suku running on a fresh set of softs. Montana is not looking that close to the back of Alphatrix. But we're on board with these guys though. Come down towards turn number 11 out on track. Yeah, Montana lifts and coasts. Trying to preserve the fuel. Verstappen as well on the back of Bolin. Here comes Verstappen on the back of Bolin. You'll see in the background as well Suku getting the move done possibly on Toxic. And he has got that move done. And now Gary is under pressure possibly from Kuki. Kuki's gone past Gary. And now Verstappen has been overtaken once again by Bolin. Good fight this between the 2 Dutchmen as they now come through turn 13. Trying to ride on board with as many points of action as possible. Obviously if anything springs up I'll try and get on board with it with my fast camera work. But I know it can be quite difficult at times. Verstappen though on the back of Bolin. This is P8 and P9. Bolin looks like he's beginning to hold up Verstappen slightly. So it means that now Suku is ahead of Toxic. But these set of softs, these guys are started on a fresh set of softs. I think Suku was one of them. He started from 13th on the grid and he's up into P thingy, or Killer Blue actually down the inside of Rocco. Great move down the inside of turn 1. Not really even overtaking spot. Obviously invites the driver if they're close enough, but Killer Blue is through on Rocco and he's through into P5. Just begs the question if Rocco is beginning to overheat those tyres slightly. They're quite worn on the left front. On the left front tyre, I should say. Campbell now on the back of Rocco, trying to get this move done. Not going to be close enough though, down in towards turn 6 and 7. Can afford to corner cut through these cars, and now Schiaparelli has retired. That is into the pit lane. Schiaparelli has retired out on track. Not the most successful return in League of Europe history for Schiaparelli, but be hoping that it will come back. He'll come back better next week. Here comes Campbell though. Not using up a little bit of overtake mode just yet, but now the Scotsman really fighting on the back of the Brit, and I think the Brit is closing in as well. Killer Blue, Rocco's already on the back of Killer Blue. Verstappen as well on Bolin. 3 moves, I think, for these guys now. Verstappen has got back through on Bolin. He's now through and he's up into P8 out on track. So very good racing. Killer Blue through up to P5 if we just tuned in for that one. Rocco in 6th, Campbell in 7th. Bolin very close to the back end of Verstappen as well. Battle for the lead. 0.6 of a second separating Montana and Alphatrix out on track. Alphatrix currently out in front, Montana 2nd. Neo in 3rd, and Neo actually first to come into the pit lane, and Killer Blue 3 seconds arm penalty. Multiple warnings, I'm not sure what that was about. He was coming into the pit lane, so they might get removed. Neo though into the pit lane, and I would imagine that these guys will go on to a set of mediums for a quicker 2-stop strategy. And yeah, set of mediums is out in that Renault garage. Neo should be coming out in relatively clean air. And he has been held up in the pits, I think, there slightly by the Williams of Killer Blue. And yeah, these guys are going to be out well behind the rest of the field. These guys are going to have their own private battle. Speaking of private battles though, Campbell now on the back of Rocco. They now have split, because obviously Killer Blue has came into the pits. And Daka pulling away now once again from Rocco. Stappen and Bolin fighting in behind, giving these two a little bit of room now to battle. And it's going to be very interesting because Campbell, a Monaco winner from last season, Rocco, a newcomer into the league, really good driver and a really respectful racer out on track. Let's see if Campbell, though, can get this move done. And you can imagine, I think, what is going to come, because I think Campbell has lined this one up to absolute perfection. Rocco is there to the left-hand side of, or to the right-hand side of Campbell. But now, job done. Campbell, and he's through and he's up to P4. Here comes Bolin on the back of Verstappen. Oh, very close to a little bit of contact there. Verstappen runs wide. But now Bolin up in 7th. Suku has now got onto the back of these guys as well. I think we saw a move done there from Kuka Games, possibly on the back of Gary, or it was Toxic on Kuka Games. One of the two happened there. But the leaders, I think, are into the pits. Montana's staying out. Alphatrix is in, though. Alphatrix in from the lead of the race. At the quarterway stage, as we approach lap 8, Montana leads, Alphatrix in 2nd as he comes across the start-finish line within the pit lane. And he will go on to a set of mediums, and it definitely appears to me that these guys will begin to pit in from that pit window. Pit window normally 2 or 3 laps earlier. Alphatrix actually on to a set of hards, so he might be fancying himself up to the end of the race here, Alphatrix. Alphatrix is in. 2-stop strategy does work quicker than a 1-stop. Alphatrix is going to be right in the thick of things, but I think Neo and Killer Blue are actually going to be well behind because he can save about 4 seconds coming out of the pit lane. And actually, unfortunately for Alphatrix, he's got traffic. Alphatrix has got traffic, so Montana has came out just... Oh, he's still staying out there in front, but Alphatrix now on the back. Here comes D. Daniel on the back of Larkin. Can the Dutchman get the move done on the Brit? I think he's going to wait for the straight. Well, Luigi very close to the back. Actually, the Ferrari being held up here in a bit of a racing point sandwich out on track. It is Larkin in 12th, D. Daniel 13th, Luigi 14th, Alphatrix looking to try and get past everyone. The more that Alphatrix is held up, though, the worse chances he will have towards the end of the race. There are going to be quite a few moves further down the field, but I'm going to focus on this. As we see D. Daniel now lining up on Larkin. This is for P12 out on track. This is for the final point scoring position. And D. Daniel says thank you very much for that one. And the Dutchman is through, parks it on the apex, just overruns it actually slightly, and Larkin can have another run down towards turn 13. He is there on the outside line, D. Daniel pushing him all the way towards the wall, but a good defensive approach there from D. Daniel, and he's through, and he's into P12. Nicely done, he's done a set of hards, and you should see the set of hards get quicker and quicker. Those guys, D. Daniel and Alphatrix, now on a set of hards. You should see those guys toward the end of the race now, but out on track. As everyone now filters into the pit lane, let's run on board with Montana, see what he's going to go on board with. Set of hards for Montana. It's very intriguing actually. The likes of Neil, the likes of Killer Blue going on a set of mediums. Everyone that has came into the pits, I think, has gone on for a set of hard compound of tyres. Montana is going to be out right in front of, and probably right next to, Alphatrix when he comes out the pit lane. There is Alphatrix actually just ahead of him, and Montana is even behind Larkin. So Montana behind Larkin and behind Alphatrix. So Alphatrix undercut has worked, and he's now roughly 1.5 seconds up the road. So a little bit of end plate damage actually there on the right hand side. We're on board with Gary to pick it up. It is through turn 4 on the right hand side here. There was damage there for somebody out on track. Toxic on the back of Cookie on the back of Toxic. You can probably see where this one's going to go because Cookie has got so much pace, and it was Toxic's left side end plate damage, and he's running a T-tray on that card, so that is why we saw the end plate damage from somebody, and it is the AlphaTauri of Toxic that has picked up damage, and he will come into the pits probably this lap from a set of mediums. He might go set of hards to the end. Pressure towards the end of the race. He could pick up a good undercut on some of the guys that are around him. It is teaming down, by the way, here in real life. It's very cold as well in the commentary box. Not in Vietnam, but where I live. Campbell leading the way, though. Suku second. Kooky Games in third. These guys still yet to come into the pits. Campbell still yet to come into the pits. Suku, however, is in. So the pole is in. Gets the brakes on nicely. Toxic as well. Should see him come into shot. There he is. He's coming into the pits with his T-tray. And Larkin into the pits as well. AlphaTrix, however, is on the back of D. Daniel, coming out the final corner. Let's see if AlphaTrix can try and pull off this move. I don't think it's going to be close enough. Suku onto a set of hards. And Toxic should switch onto a set of hards, as is Larkin. Yep, so Toxic on a set of hards. And Larkin on a set of hards as well. AlphaTrix on the back of D. Daniel. This is 4P4. Backy as well on the back of Kooky Games. And a fair let through there, I think, for the pole. And Backy through and he's up to P2. And AlphaTrix through and he's up to P4 as well. The Williams getting past the Ferrari. Montana, though, is in amongst this. And Montana's actually really coarse. AlphaTrix being held up in the traffic. D. Daniel is going to be made to look an absolute mockery, I think, down the straight by Montana. Oh, the straight line speed is not there. Both of them will have DRS, so this is going to be a fair fight down in towards the braking tub. But now you can see the Alfa Romeo's pace now beginning to pull out slightly. AlphaTrix is under pressure as well, possibly down into the braking tub. Montana launches it from a mile back, actually forces AlphaTrix, into a bit of a mistake. Near contact there for Montana. That's what he likes to do under the brake, put the driver under pressure. And Montana, for now, in 5th position, but he could have easily got the net lead of the race. AlphaTrix realised he was coming, he thought he was going to come. He was staring down the back of a gun barrel, to be honest, I think, with that, but Montana is still in 5th. Campbell, by the way, is into the pits from the lead of the race, from a set of softs. He will go to a set of hards, I would imagine. And we've had to start lap 11 out on track. We'll be backing who leads, and Kooky Games also into the pit lane as well. But now this is the fight we have always wanted to see. We have been rubbing this for the beginning of the season. They're both tied on points on 43 coming into tonight. It is AlphaTrix versus Montana for possibly the win here tonight. Lap 11 out of 28. Everyone has driven very cleanly so far. There's been a lot of good overtaking. Obviously, we might have had a little bit of contact on lap 1, which we didn't see. Campbell, by the way, is coming out right behind Bolin. And he's only 4 tenths off coming out of the pit lane. Watch out for Campbell as he comes through the field. He's on a set of mediums. And another driver that is on a set of mediums is, of course, Neo. He's on the back of D. Daniel now. And the German will be hoping to try and get this move done. Kooky Games is through on Waluigi. Now he's through to P16. Waluigi down to P17. But now it is Neo on the back of D. Daniel. And D. Daniel again looks to me as if he's really under pressure here from Neo. And you can see where this one's going to go because Neo is through. Takes from the left-hand side of the track. Comes across. Job done. Neo through. Oh, D. Daniel into the back of Neo, actually. Very late on the brakes. And he lets him go. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of words there. But D. Daniel just purely out-braking himself there. And Neo up to P4. No front end plate damage either for D. Daniel as a result of that contact. Think of it as a little bit of a love tap, to be honest, out on track tonight. But Montana hunting down AlphaTrix. 0.6 of a second separating. Back he leads 1.8 seconds. He will be under pressure, I think, come the next lap around as the guys on the fresher tyres begin to come into play. Neo's only 1.8 seconds off. He can last those mediums to the end of the race, which is pretty unlikely. He might be going for softs towards the end of the race, but it is a very good race so far. But let's see how these guys are doing. Let's see how you guys are doing actually in the comment section. We saw Montana just fighting the car there. He's lost 0.4 of a second. But now we'll see. Hopefully the Division 1 stream will come up on my iPad. There we are. Good evening to Louis Welsh, who was joining in the comment section. Louis, BDG, Louis tuning in. Good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone is doing well here tonight as well. Jav's saying my prediction is looking good so far, yeah. Gary dropping like a stone, says Prix. Yeah, you can see him there down in 13th position. Campbell and Bolin, though, are having a good fight. This is through the roundabout through turn 6 and 7. And Bolin will be hoping to try and get the move done, and Verstappen as well. Be hoping to try and get the move done. Funny enough, on his commentary buddy, his Division 2 friend, Daka. And they'll be hoping to try and get the move done. You can hear the wind, actually, running down the straight. That's something that I haven't picked up on. Here comes Campbell on the back of Bolin, very late on that break from the Scotsman. Brilliant move, he can pull it off, and I think he has done, but Bolin with a quicker exit out, and now Campbell pulls the trigger on that overtake mode and is back through, and he's up into P10. Leaders are now getting held up. Neil looks like he is struggling now in a set of mediums. He's made a mistake somewhere, I think, out on track. Has he lost any end plate damage? No. So Neo has made a mistake, I think, somewhere out on track. He was only 1.8 seconds off to the end of the lap. Alphatrix low lining up on Backy. He could try and make this stick down in towards turn 1 and try and get the move done. But the more that Backy holds up, the more you would imagine that Montana would have a chance here in Vietnam. It is Backy who leads. Alphatrix second, Montana in third. Larkin is round through the final corner. Not sure what happened there. Not sure if Cookie Games might have had a little bit of a collision with him, but Alphatrix is on the back of Backy, though, for the lead of the race. And now Montana hunting him down. You can see the Swiss man taking so much speed coming through into the roundabout. And now Backy down the straight, I think, is pretty much a sitting duck here, but Montana's got to rely on the double toe here. Can the Alfa Romeo, can the Swiss man, the Division 1, the Season 2 Division 1 champion, try and get the move done? Alphatrix coming off camber. Here comes Montana, though. He is absolutely flying. He's going to go past Backy. Will he get both of them? Montana down the inside line. Alphatrix, no. Job done, though, for the move for P2. Montana is through for P2, but Alphatrix through, and he's into the lead of the race. Job done. Beautiful scenario looking there, actually, from the two leaders out on track. The two net leaders, obviously, Backy still yet to come into the pit along with D. Daniel, but Alphatrix and Montana have no more traffic in front of them, and now can rely on Backy to hold up Neo in third. Waluigi is through on Kuka Games for P15. Really good, concise battles going on here tonight in Division 1 in Vietnam. Who said Vietnam was boring? I didn't. You guys might have seen it in the comment section, but I certainly didn't. Campbell on the back of Verstappen. And jump on board the QVR train. Daka, Verstappen, Campbell. They've got Rocco just ahead and Bolin in behind. And you would argue, I think, that Campbell is probably the quicker out of these guys on that set of medium compound tyres. Verstappen on a set of hards in front of him. Really doing a good job. Locking into the pits to probably replace some front wing damage. And Campbell now on the back of Verstappen. Really tight battles going on. We've got Killer Blue on the back of D. Daniel as well. Is he going to go for a move down in towards turn 6? No, I think thinking second of it there from Killer Blue. Doesn't want to get the move done. And now you can hear the gears, really, the fastness of the gears coming down. Verstappen now looking for a move down through turn 8. This is through the roundabout. And not quite close enough to the back of Daka. These guys will be working together, I would imagine. All of them probably being in the same party. But I think it'll be, no, you go first, you go first. Killer Blue has gone past D. Daniel. Here comes Campbell, though, on the back of Verstappen. Scotsman against Dutchman. QVR against QVR. Let's see what this is going to do. Is the Mercedes going to go around the outside? Yeah, Verstappen, I think, just worked together with that one. Holds up Bolin. Campbell now through, and he's up to P9. There's the L flag in Sector 2. It's Cookie Games that has gone round through turn 8. He's back underway. Not sure if there was any front wing damage picked up there with Cookie Games, and there must have been because of the VSC, and you can see there, that is the cause, because Cookie Games has lost his entire front wing. So a VSC has been deployed. We're going to see anybody risk it coming into the pit lane. Yeah, Backy's going to come in, which is good to see. I don't think we'll see a VSC for that much longer, to be honest. Neo, interestingly, though, is into the pits. This will be, I would imagine, for sort of hards to the end. He wouldn't have got those mediums to set at the end. I think he's not on softs, actually, so it might be the case where Neo will go on to a set of mediums once again. And yeah, that is going to be the case. He's on to a set of mediums. Interesting perspective as well. It looks like Alphatrix might have a different delta to Montana here as well. Montana right in the back. They were about a second away from each other before the VSE came out. As Cookie Games retires out on track. It has crashed, actually, out on track coming through the S section. Very hard, very difficult. That's through turn 14. Suku has got a drive-through penalty, but we are back underway. We've gone green once again. And now Montana on the back of Alphatrix. Leave the race. Beautiful helicopter cam. See the difference in the lines there? Alphatrix taking the more natural line out of the roundabout, and he's 6 tenths up now on Montana, and then Montana will be hoping to try and come back. 30% of ERS compared to Alphatrix's 15, so they are really Montana in comparison is really up on Alphatrix's ERS deployment, and Montana looks to the move there. Trying to go down the inside. Campbell in the meantime on the back of Dakar, trying to go. This is for P5 now out on track with Neo and Baki coming into the pits. No move getting done. Verstappen very late on the brakes. Same with Bolin as well. Really good on the brakes, all these guys. Baki is through on Suku. Suku drive-through penalty picked up and 2 poles. No love lost between them both. And now Suku losing control of the car. Neo now on the back. He's on a set of mediums. Fresh set of mediums now on that Renault. Of course, Suku will have to come into the pits. Baki's already been in. VSC, you would think, is very fortunate for Baki because he's going to be going very much to the end of the race now on these tyres. Now Neil comes round, 3 second time penalty. There's Suku into the pits to serve up his drive-through penalty. Unfortunate drive-through penalty being picked up, which is a shame, but he is into the pit lane there. Campbell now on the back of Dakar, 2.5 tons separating. They're just running in a bit of a DRS train. It's a 5-way battle for 4th, but there's not really any chance for an overtake here, to be honest, coming out of any of these guys. Rocco looks like he's pulling away from Dakar, who in turn is holding up Campbell, who in turn is bringing Verstappen and Bolin into play. So it's interesting. Montana is on the back as well of Alphatrix, looking a lot closer this time around. 5/10 of a second now. He's closing a 10th, using up that overtake mode to good effect. So is Alphatrix though. Wary that Montana is coming, and this is for the battle for the lead. Here comes Montana. Is he going to use up the overtake mode to try and get past? He goes on the inside line, and the Swiss man sails through down the inside. He gets the move done. Montana is through to the lead of the race, clean as you like, and now let the battle commence between the 2 championship leaders early on. Fantastic stuff by Montana to get that move done. Neil was through on Baki. We see very close action just ahead as well, but Neil through on Baki and he's up to P9, but Montana importantly is ahead. He's got the lap pressure tyres compared to Alphatrix, and now Montana, is he looking quicker than Alphatrix, to be honest, out on track? He is looking on fire now. Campbell on the back of Dakar, coming through the S section, now through turn 20, now into turn 21. Really good battles, as I say. Division 1, Vietnam, really living up to expectations here. We've got the championship lead, the 2 leaders fighting out for pole position, and also now for the race lead. We have got the likes of Killer Blue, Rocco, Dakar still involved here for further down positions. Neo sets the new fastest lap of the race. He is catching these guys hand over fist as well. He's on 6 lap pressure tyres to the guys behind. To the guys ahead, I should say. Baki on 2 lap old hards, Neo on 1 lap old mediums. So that is going to be quite interesting. Might be a bit of a glitch there. Might be 2 lap old mediums for Neo and 3 lap old hards for Baki. Could be a little bit of a differentiation there in the tyres. Campbell on the back of Dakar again, looking close enough, but it's not looking close enough for that move. And you would argue, to be honest, with the McLaren, with the Mercedes, I should say, he's looking quicker than Dakar. I think there should be just a let through there. Alphatrix now on the back of Montana. Here we go, down into the braking zone at turn 11. But no, Alphatrix holds back. Try and get the move done on Montana. It will go probably next lap around, I think. Campbell on the back of Dakar, both using up the DRS zone. And now Campbell, looks for a half look down the inside, but Dakar holds sway. Rocco just overheating the tyres, I think, maybe again. He is just losing a little bit of time now to Dakar and Campbell. 7/10 of a second separating for this battle for 4th. But a really intriguing battle this is, as we will have 10 more laps to go as they come across the line, or 11 more laps to go actually if you've been picking Montana. Will lead the way. Alphatrix in second. If you have enjoyed so far the race, do leave a like, comment and subscribe to the League of Europe channel, and tick that notification bell, of course, if you are new, as Campbell picks up a 3-second time penalty. Come on board with him right on the back of Dakar. Verstappen as well, and Bolin. That has been a good battle so far tonight as well. Bolin just not using up his overtake mode down the straight. He lets Verstappen go. But now, look who has joined the train. Neo, who might be quicker than everyone else ahead of him, is now on the back of this. So this is where I think we are going to see, potentially, Oh, hell break loose and Bolin into the wall, and Neo, wrong place, wrong time as well. Right side end plate damage for them both. Bolin just clipped the wall on the exit of turn 5. He's got right side end plate damage, and Neo, right side end plate damage as well. I was going to say it was going to be a case of it's all going to kick off. Unfortunately, I didn't mean it that way. I didn't want it to be somebody hitting the wall. Right side end plate damage for both Bolin and Neo. And don't coming at me in there in the comment section say that was a commentator's curse. I will take half a commentator's curse, but I meant it in terms of overtaking rather than any moves. And now, speaking of moves, Gary has been overtaken by D. Daniel on fresher mediums. D. Daniel now through once again into the point scoring positions. He was in 12th, so he was only getting a point. Now D. Daniel through, and he's up into 11th position and getting the move done there on Gary. Backy now, though. Could be the one to come into play. He's really gained on these guys. And now with Neo and Bolin having right side end plate damage for them both, it is going to be really tricky. And Backy all over the back of Neo. He's going around the outside of turn 20. No, Neo was all over the shop, and now both of them relinquish 7th, 8th and 9th, I should say. And now they're both into the pit. So Bolin into the pit. Unfortunate, both of them are having a really good race. Bolin just clipped the wall. Neo just was taking his natural line. He would imagine that the ghosting system would have worked. It didn't. Neo now into the pits. From what looked like a very promising second half of the race has now turned into a little bit of a disaster. But set of softs goes on. He will have that damage repaired. Bolin interested in the ultra set of mediums. He might expect that the set of softs do not go to the end of the race as far. Now Bolin ahead of Neo coming out of the pits. Larkin still going around there in 16th. He's going to be well behind actually coming out of the pit lane. These two now. Larkin, you'll see him. There he is, coming out the final corner. So Larkin looks pretty much settled on 16th position. Here comes Campbell on the back of Dakar. Are we finally going to see this move pulled off? I think maybe is the answer. Dakar to the inside line. Now for the outside line. It's now Campbell takes the inside line, and this is going to be job done finally for Campbell. And he's through, and he's up into P5 out on track, and that battle commenced between the two Division 2 commentators as well, Dakar and Verstappen. Division 2 and Division 5 are going to be live as well tonight from 8 o'clock here on the League of Europe channel. And as I say, if you have liked all of the action out on track, do leave a like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell if you're new. And of course, you can follow the League on Europe. You can follow the League of Europe on Twitter, I should say, at League of Europe on Twitter. You can follow everything that is going on and get some very funny puns as well before the races actually begin. Like, I think tonight's one was annoying. It hasn't been annoying at all. Montana leads, Alphatrix second. We have got 9 more laps to go, including this one. Montana leading the way, Alphatrix in second. But a really good battle this has been between them both. They've been very consistent to each other. This is what we like to see. Are we finally going to get that battle that we were so destined of last season? Of course, remember, it was Alphatrix and Louis who dominated last season. Montana was in contention, wasn't so much in contention though come the end of the season because of the pace of Alphatrix and Louis, but we were robbed of that towards the end of the season with 2 races to go. Montana and Alphatrix, so early stages look like they've got the hallmarks of this being a season-long battle, hopefully out on track, and you can forward me this stream back on when that does come correctly, I think, out on track. But Montana really excelling out in front. These guys have 1 win apiece coming into tonight. Of course, Montana taking the season 1, the first round win the first round win of season 4 in Australia. It was Bahrain last time out that Alphatrix won, and Montana I think finished second that day. So these guys have had a first and second to their name. They are even pegging. Montana, though, is going to take currently 7 points extra than Alphatrix. So it's going to be really intriguing, I think, for next week. And we'll get on board next week. I think we're in Netherlands next week, if I'm not mistaken. I will have a check of the calendar in... Well, I'll check the calendar now to confirm that. But really, really nicely going on here out on track tonight. It has been a fantastic race as we get on board with just trying to find it, but Alphatrix leads the way. There is Campbell on the back of Rocco now, as disposed of Dakar. And now Campbell making his way through the field very nicely indeed. We're hoping to try and get this move done. Campbell on the back of Rocco. Is he going to go for a move down in towards turn 6? No, I don't think he is. He's got no overtake mode running. But as Neil sets a new fastest lap of the race, he's closing in on Bolin as well. But Campbell now on the back of Rocco. You can probably see where I think this one is going to go in terms of the battling out on track tonight. And I will get that stream up. I will get that calendar up, of course. Campbell though on the back of Rocco, looking to try and get the move done now. Down the inside line here. And I'd be hoping to try and get the move done. And I think Campbell is through on this one. Rocco will try and defend. Oh, Campbell cuts across very late in the day. Very cheeky that is from Campbell. Rocco could come back at him. But no, Campbell through and he's up into P4. Rocco might protest that, to be honest, because it looked like Campbell just left a little bit of short of room. And Rocco just had to judge his line slightly there. It's really minutely, but coming across into the braking zone, is that really on? It might go to the stewards, that one. I don't know. But I hope you're enjoying the action out on track. And as I say, next week for the calendar, we do go to Zandvoort next week. And then it's Barcelona. And then it's Baku. So no Monaco this season, you'll be pleased to know, for anybody that is tuning in any division. Alphatrix now, though, on the back of Montana. 2.5 tenths coming out of turn 5. Now Alphatrix on the back of the Swissman. The Swissman is looking a little bit vulnerable, maybe down in towards turn 6. Alphatrix is going to just stay in behind for now. Look to try and get the move done down the straight. You'll see the difference in the lines here as well. They take very similar lines. Alphatrix taking a deeper line going into the corner, but out of the corner, that's where the traction is, and Montana gets that traction up and uses it to perfection. But here comes Alphatrix now. He's served up all of his ERS for this move, and I think you can see where this one is going to go. Montana will try his damnedest to try and fight this. We go side by side on the run down towards the breaking point at turn 11. Alphatrix is through. Don't think Montana's going to come back at this one unless he's very late on the brakes. He doesn't. He gives Alphatrix the respect, and Alphatrix is back through and he's into the lead of the race with just 6 more laps to go after this lap. So Alphatrix leading, Montana second, really getting down to the nitty-gritty out on track. Campbell by the way through on Rocco. We covered that last lap. So Campbell now through and he's up to 4th. Rocco really having an excelling race, I think, out on track tonight. His best race so far this season by an absolute country mile. And Rocco, newcomer to the season, but he is showing an old head in that car, I've got to be honest. He's really driving well. He's got Dakar Verstappen in behind. He's held him in a bit of a train. He's still keeping Campbell at bay as well. 0.8 of a second in front. He's keeping with him. So doing a good job out on track. D. Daniel, though, is the one to watch later on in this race. Because now, Dutchman closing up on the pole. And Backy under pressure from D. Daniel. Ferrari against Red Bull. Red Bull, of course, have been dominating in real life compared to the Ferraris. But are we going to see that this time around? Daniel on the back of Backy. Now through turn 2, up towards turn 3. You can see the camera in the corner come out now through turn 2. This is a street circuit by nature. So these guys really feeling the effects. Some of these guys might have even driven this track for the first time here tonight. Daniel on the back of Backy. So comes down into the braking zone. Oh, very late on the brakes there from D. Daniel. And now Backy. That's got a 1-bar connection to his name. It shouldn't be too bad. I'll just look in behind actually with Backy. Yeah, that looks like it's gone. And now D. Daniel trying to chase down, but here comes Campbell on the back of Killer Blue. This is for 3rd position. I don't know where on earth Campbell has found this pace from, but Killer Blue is being made to look just very ordinary there, to be honest. Campbell gets the move done. He's through, and D. Daniel is through down into the braking zone at turn 11 as well. And how he's through on Backy. So 2 moves done there. Campbell through for P3 and D. Daniel through up to P8 he goes. And we could see another one as well. Neo on the back of Suku. There is Suku. And bye-bye Suku. Neil through. Bolin very late on the brakes on Suku. Oh, and Suku has to back out of that one. But Bolin, good stuff on the very late on the brakes once again. Not his race. Obviously, he had that right side end plate damage. Apart from that, it's been a perfect race, I think, from Bolin's perspective. But Bolin in P14, he's only a reserve, but doing a fantastic job out on track as they fly through the S section here. Now out on track. And it is raining actually out on track. It is beginning to rain out on track with only a limited amount of laps to go. We've got 5 more laps to go. The rain has begun to fall. This is going to be really intriguing. Are we going to see the switch to inters very late on in the race? This could mean these positions might change towards the end of the race. Rocco now on the back of Killer Blue, and Killer Blue is just looking absolutely ordinary, and now Rocco sails that one down the inside. The Brit is through and he's up to P4. You would imagine that these guys on a set of hards are going to be the ones that are going to be fighting for the win here tonight. Montana now on the back of Alphatrix. He's getting close to the outside line goes Montana. Very late on the brakes. Is he trying to sail it around the outside? No, he will try and get the traction though out of turn 11. You can see actually the spray already beginning to be picked up. So this track is changing very rapidly, I think, out on track. Well, certainly from my perspective it is. Looks like the spray being kicked off the track. And the biggest indicator will be these wider out camera angles where you will be able to see the spray being kicked out. It doesn't look too bad through there. Neil though down the straight on Waluigi. This is for hopefully the move done. And now Neil has got that move done, it seems, on Waluigi. The German through. And another one who's had a very bad race. Bollen to the inside though on Waluigi. He sells the dummy. Forces Waluigi off track. All intentions, the gap was there. Bollen through and he's up to P13. So Bollen making eye-catching progress through the field. Mediums are running better than the softs at this stage in the race as well. Bollen coming through nicely. Well, Luigi forced out wide there, but we have seen that a couple of times where drivers get forced out wide. Nothing to do, I think, to be honest, with the racecraft or any of these drivers out on track, but it's been fantastic to watch. Killer Blue, by the way, has dropped like an absolute stone through the field. He was third and running very comfortably in that position. But now, Dakar, Verstappen, D. Daniel and Baki lining up on Killer Blue. And there might be a risk, actually, that Killer Blue does not get to the end of the race. There might be questions regarding that tyre life. But here comes Dakar down the inside line. You can see where this one's going. Dakar through on Killer Blue. He's through and he's up to P5. Killer Blue in P6. Verstappen in P7. And here comes Verstappen down the inside through turn 8. Brilliant move by Verstappen. And Montana is through for the lead of the race as well. We've completely missed that. Montana through into the lead of the race. Here comes D. Daniel now lining up on Killer Blue. Verstappen lining up on Dakar. All hell breaking loose in the midfield. Dakar now under pressure from Verstappen. Is Verstappen closing in, trying to get to the inside line. The Dutchman against the Brit. Trying to get the move done. I should say the Scotsman actually in Dakar. Oh, and Verstappen and Dakar are still side by side at turn 11 and 12. D. Daniel now coming in. Look at this for a perspective. D. Daniel right on the back. Dakar and Verstappen are side by side. Dakar just running out wide. Oh, they make contact. The two Division 2 commentators make contact. There is carnage in behind. Verstappen and Baki have been caught up in that as well, perhaps. Verstappen's certainly the one caught up. And he is now turning right out on track. Toxic through the P9 and the VSC with 2 laps to go. A VSC has been deployed. It's for 3 laps to go, actually. And D. Daniel gets past Toxic under the VSC. We saw that on stream. Might have to give that position back. If not, there might be a penalty for that. It looked like Toxic might have illegally overtook. I'm not sure. Dakar, Killer Blue, Baki, Verstappen. 4 drivers caught up in that. And Dakar goes on to a set of inters. So does Baki. Is it really going to be inters towards the end of the race, though? We haven't seen a DRS disabled yet, but these guys feel it might be necessary to come in. DRS now back enabled. So we are still in dry conditions. It's just unfortunate. It's one of those things. Verstappen and Dakar maybe getting a little bit too greedy going side by side, to be honest. We saw them both fighting. But that has now brought, because of all of that, Gary, who was P14, if I'm not mistaken, out on track, is now in 5th position as a result of that. And anybody that had a poor race has just got even better. Neo and Bollen especially, I'm thinking, up to 8th and 9th as a result of this. But here comes D. Daniel on the back of the Mercedes of Gary. Irishman against Dutchman. The rain is falling. But here comes D. Daniel to the inside line. Gary gives him the room. And Gary will have to give him the place as well, because D. Daniel has sailed past. Through, and he's up into P5. Here comes Bollen as well on Neo. These two, bit of love lost between these guys, but they're making contact. It was Bollen, of course, who made the right side end plate damage into turn 5. He's got the move done cleanly this time. Baki on the move for Killer Blue as well. Killer Blue on a fresh set of softs. Baki on a fresh set of inters. And I think you'll probably see what's quicker there. Yeah, Killer Blue on a fresh set of softs. Easy getting past. Verstappen is through on Larkin as well. Larkin is through. Verstappen is through and he's up into P14, locking down into P15. 2 more laps to go. Montana has led. Not sure what happened in terms of the overtake. It looked to me on the mini-map It looked to me as if Montana had got the move done down the straight. Down in towards turn 11, he got the move done. So Montana retaking that lead of the race. But, oh, this is going to be really intriguing for the final 2 laps of the race. All the battles going down through the field, but let's focus on this one. Montana takes the wider out line. Alphatrix deeper into the corner. Now uses up the overtake mode to good effect. Is he going to try and catch Montana? They're very, very spread apart. Montana uses the rest of his overtake mode up to get that gap out to 0.5 of a second. And there's going to be no way for Alphatrix coming through here unless he really closes up on the back of Montana. Oh, and he has! He contacts the back end there of Montana. Never close enough on the move, but maybe just a warning shot there from Alphatrix saying, I'm here, I'm only 0.4 behind you. Let's focus then actually on the top 2 and their penalties. We'll focus on the rest as well. Montana with an invalid lap time but no penalties, and Alphatrix has got 2 warnings, so it is even Stevens out in the lead of this race. Fastest lap, by the way, is Neil, 1:36.3, so he might get the fastest lap point that is available. There is a fastest lap point available, which I think there is. Final lap, 2 championship leaders, 1 battle to commence. Montana and Alphatrix. This could be the greatest final lap in League of Europe Division 1 history, certainly within Season 4, but certainly within ever of me commentating. Montana and Alphatrix have been so consistent, so confident in their driving here tonight, and now Montana looks to hold the cards for now. 0.5 of a second, Alphatrix will have to respond and use up that ERS, and now he's using up that ERS mode to good effect. He could look for a move down in towards turn 6, he's not. Killer Blue is through on Suku further down the field, but now Alphatrix is going to try it down the inside line into turn 8. Alphatrix down the inside gets the move done, but Montana, I think, has played that to perfection because the DRS detection zone is down the straight, so Montana has played that absolutely brilliantly. Brilliant stuff, and Alphatrix now is left to be a sitting duck down the straight. Here comes Montana, round the outside of him. Position 1 is his once again. Alphatrix will try and come back down the straight. Is the Williams going to fight under the brakes? No, he won't. He knew he misjudged that. Montana lured him in, and Montana might have just landed himself the race win here tonight in Division 1. Now in towards turn 13, and a very much treacherous now final couple of corners, but Montana is hanging on. 0.5 of a second, Alphatrix in second. Campbell will get third, Rocco in fourth, and D. Daniel will get fifth, but around the final couple of corners, we'll go on board with Montana. The Williams, I should say, of Alphatrix trying to close 3 races. He rounds the final corner. Montana has taken the Vietnam Grand Prix. 0.6 of a second separating Alphatrix. A really good, concise battle between them both. Campbell will be coming across the line in third. We've got Neil on the back of Toxic, who's fighting for his life. Campbell across the line in third. Rocco gets third. Fantastic result from the Brit. D. Daniel is coming around the final corner with right side end plate damage, actually. He's picked that up somewhere in the final 2 laps. D. Daniel around the final corner, he'll come across the line in 5th. Gary in 6th. Watch out for the position changes, Bolin up a position. Toxic and Neil 5-second time penalty, he drops down to 10th. Suku now across the line, very out of shape, coming around the final corner, but he's across the line 11th. Anybody that rested on the set of Inters really having their downfall. Baki and Daka, insane about that. Verstappen around the final corner in 12th. Baki and Daka tried it. It wasn't wet enough though, these conditions for Inters towards the end of the race. They might have listened to me on the stream, which I apologise for, but Baki across the line in 13th. Daka across the line in 14th. Oh, and the session no longer exists, which is fantastic. That is brilliant. That's a brilliant way to end off the stream. But, not sure what on earth has happened there. Yeah, answers on a postcard, please. I think we're still live, which is weird. But it was Montana who took the win. Alphatrix second, Rocco in third position here for League of Europe. And what a race we had there in prospect. Yeah, the session no longer exists. It's kicked me out of the session right at the end of the stream. But thank you so much for watching. Montana wins in Vietnam. We go next week to the Netherlands, another new track to dissect. Thank you so much for watching, though. I've been James Head. I'll be joined by Daniel V8 Field in the commentary box next week. Thank you so much for watching, though, and until next time, goodbye.